it was mad, right? People don't really know how I become a 400-meter runner. Well, Colin Jackson at the Commonwealth Games in '94, he said, "I can see you got talent." And let's bring it into perspective. Colin in '93 broke the world record over the 110-meter hurdles. So he was at the peak of his career. In '94, a year after that, at the Commonwealth Games, he said to me, "How would you like me to be your coach?" Like, what?
Right.
Jackson wants to be my coach. And I'm thinking, oh, he's just won a world champs. He's the best in the world. He's Colin. And I was like, yeah, you know. And so from that in late '94, I went over to his house in Florida, Linford Christie, Colin Jackson. Who else was there? Darren Campbell. You had Merlin Ottey, Frankie Fredericks, Mark McCoy, John Regis, do you know what I mean? Darren Brayford. We had the best sprints group in the world. And so I went from being pretty good to suddenly being submerged constantly in this environment in warm weather with the best athletes on the planet. So it was literally, Colin was coaching me for 100 and 200 meters, not for 400. But I got so fit that winter, I did a 400 in a relay run as a bit of a joke. And there was a guy called Adrian Thomas, who was one of the British athletics team coaches from Wales. Lovely, lovely man. And he said, "James, if you run really fast in this British League run in Cardiff, we'll consider you to represent Great Britain in the relay at the European Champs." I was like, what? Well, are you serious? He went, yeah, run fast. There was nobody in this race. It was just like no fast athletes in this race. In Cardiff, they gave me the baton. I ran a 45 flat relay split against no one. Right? And they were like, wow, like, who is this guy? Like, so they didn't pick me for the Europeans, which I was a bit disgruntled about because he said, yeah, blah, blah, blah. But they got me to represent Great Britain down in Narbonne in France about a week or two later. Broke the Welsh record in 45.3 something or 45.40 and ran a relay split of 44.3. So from me getting coached by Colin and me doing a random 4x4 relay at a British league in Cardiff enabled me to then go on a totally different path, and the rest is history, basically.
Yeah, you found your event then, obviously.
Yeah.
So off you go to Atlanta, and I mean, how was that first Olympics?
It was amazing. I mean, you can imagine I was 23. I was sharing with Darren Campbell, who's like the biggest, craziest guy in the team. And I'm there, you know, I'm at this Olympics. But in that team, Ewan Thomas, Mark Richardson, and Roger Black and myself, you know, to bring it into perspective, I came fourth in the British trials, fourth, right? In 44.71.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't even make the team, the individual. That's how fast everyone was running. Dwayne Ajo snuck in ahead of me in those trials, and I think he ran 44.69. That race to this day is still the fastest race ever in the country from a domestic lot, and I don't think you'll ever see a race like it. So yeah, headed to Atlanta. Knew we had one of the fastest teams on the planet. Felt amazing. We all felt confident. We were all sort of, you know, egos flying. You know, you could look at Roger. He got a silver medal against Michael Johnson in the individual, so you know he was rolling. Ewan was itching to prove himself. So was I, and so was Mark. And you know, we broke the British European record that day, which still stands. What was it, 27, 28 years later, or whatever it is? It's like crazy to think that, you know, 2:56. You know, nobody's touched it. Not even the 1991 relay squad, which everyone talks about. They were a whole second, but you know, slower than us. You know, to put it into perspective, you know, the great Chris Akabusi coming up the home straight. Well, we would have battered that team, you know. So
yeah.
It just shows you how better we were as a quartet. And you know, I'm proud to be part of that. You know, I'm proud to still be part of a quartet, which means something in the history of British athletics, especially in 4x4 running.
Yeah, it was just great first Olympics for you getting that silver medal. There also seemed to be a real bond between you and Ewan, Roger, and Mark. I mean, I did see I did see on social media recently you got together for a beer, you guys. It's really nice to see, you know, because an athletics team is chucked together of people that are, you know, physically gifted, they're talented. You're not necessarily going to be buddies, are you?
No, you know, it's weird. It's a weird thing. Well, you know, we've got a little WhatsApp group going on, the four of us, and
that's exclusive. That's exclusive one. That's nice.
Yeah, nice little exclusive group, just the four. And it was brilliant, right? You know, we started talking late last year, and suddenly, I think it must have been Ewan, because he loves a beer, and he said, "Yeah, should we all meet up at a pub?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's meet up at a pub." And we've never, the four of us, ever met in a pub before. You know, because when you compete, you can go to the pub and such, you know what I mean? Or you may go individually in the winter time, but we all met up. And it was the best night. The stories we had. I had an event before that, and so I turned up late, and I came into the pub, and I was laughing within the first minute. Somebody said something which I'm not going to repeat on here because it's not over 18s. But the first thing they said was something, right? And I forgot about it. Belly roaring. And in fact, Roger was only chatting to my partner the other day, Cheryl. He said, "Oh, tell Jamie we'll have to meet up again soon." And I just think this is magical, that, you know, I think that we have got something special, and I think it will remain until we're very old men, you know.
Yeah. And when it comes to getting the rounds in, was it the same order as well? So Roger taking the anchor leg, was he all the time again?
Roger took the anchor leg. Yeah, I don't think he even bought a pint that night. You know what I mean?
Good stuff.
Brilliant.
Good stuff. Next year you did actually get the you ended up subsequently getting a world gold, didn't you? Because of
Antonio Pettigrew.
Yeah. I think it's 2010. It was found that he'd been doping at the time, so he did actually get upgraded from a silver to a gold. What was the experience like then, and how do you reflect upon that now? Can you enjoy it?
Yeah, no, not really. I said that quite quickly. No, you know, the whole thing, you know, first and foremost, Antonio Pettigrew committed suicide after that, which I think is devastating. So I want to say that first off. And, you know, if there was an opportunity to give him his medal and that not to happen, I'd prefer to see him around and have a gold medal round, sort of thing. But turning on to the next part of it, we never got given any medals. We never got given the original gold medals from that championships. We got these fake rubbish, not even replicas. If I showed you the medal, you would laugh. It looks like a chocolate coin you get at Christmas time. It was awful. And one medal was given to one of the athletes in a car park. One of the other athletes has still never been given their medal. I got given my medal down at the Senate down in Cardiff. And you just think, you know, we created history. We still are the leading team in UK athletics ever by far in the 4x4. And I just find it really sad that there's not been any sort of celebration of what we actually achieved. You know, 'cause